So hey guys, today we have Deepak and he is having 5.2 year of experience in Java, Spring Boot and microservices. So this interview is gonna be very interesting, and those who want to give same free mock interview, please fill out the form below in the description. So now let's get started. Hey, hello Deepak, how are you?
Hi Faizan, I'm doing good. What about you?
Yes, I'm also doing good. Shall we start?
Sure.
Okay. Can you please introduce yourself and your recent project in brief?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Deepak. I started my career journey from 2019 itself. My first
Okay.
company was TCS, where I worked for around 3 years, and
Mm-hmm.
there were two major projects over there. And after that, I switched to Nagaro, where I have worked on two projects mainly. So my first project in TCS itself was all about related to identity and access management as well as BFSI domain, where there were
Okay.
multiple tools related to role-based access control, which worked on like Spring MVC, and they were
Okay.
having one monolithic architecture-based application
Mm-hmm.
that they wanted to move it to like microservices
Microservices.
based architecture. So I worked on that. They were following some kind of strangler pattern, that is like
Okay.
microservices API design pattern, where they were
Mm-hmm.
like doing something like breaking one part of that monolithic architecture
Mm-hmm.
based application and then converting it to microservices, and those two were working all together.
Okay. And what's the most latest Java and Spring Boot version you are aware of?
I have used like Java 8, 11,
Java
17,
8.
and 19.
Okay.
And right now we are using Java 17, but most of the features
Okay.
are from Java 8 itself.
Okay. So can you tell me the recent updates in Java 17?
Recent updates that we are using, it's mainly like switch pattern matching is enhanced now. Like there is some kind of lambda pattern matching over
Mm-hmm.
there. So instead of
Okay.
writing like keys and all, we can do lambda pattern matching and
Uh,
directly use that. And other
okay.
than that, instance of enhancement was there. So these kind of things I that are being used in my current project.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Deepak, can you tell me what are the methods available in the object class and how are they used?
Some of the basic methods that I know are like hash code equals.
Okay.
These are mostly most used methods actually.
Okay, okay. So what's the difference between association, aggregation, and composition?
Association. So these have like is a, has a, and these kind of pattern. This comes
Okay.
into like basic low level design patterns where like
Mm-hmm.
composition means like is made up of like there will be multiple things inside
Okay.
that, but you can assume like
Mm-hmm.
computer is having like RAM and other things.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
like aggregation will be like there will, if there are two things that
Mm-hmm.
aggregates to a single thing, we can aggregate result of that particular thing.
Okay. Okay. So let's say you are tasked with designing a system that represents university. Okay. Explain how you would use association, aggregation, and composition to model relationships between the university department and staff.
So it's like association will be like where there will be direct kind of relationship between
Okay.
like you can assume like teacher and
Mm-hmm.
student and department
Okay.
there. The aggregation will be there in
Uh-huh.
university and department. There will be aggregation. And
Okay.
for composition, you can assume like one thing is made up of something. Then there will be department and subjects. These kind of things we can assume as composition. And association will be like teacher and student. You can assume as association part.
Okay. Okay. Can you explain is and has a relationships in detail? Sorry,
Is
you
has
yeah, is a has a.
assume like has a will be in case of car. You can say like car has a
Okay,
engine and this, and is
okay,
will be like kind of ISA will be like association and composition, and that one was ISA will be in from association itself, I think.
okay, okay. So let's say you are refactoring an existing application to improve object-oriented design. You find a class vehicle with methods like fly and sail. How would you refactor the class using is and has a relationship so that they better follow the single responsibility principle?
So it's like for that we can create interfaces like vehicle and these,
Okay.
and on the basis of vehicle we can create like subclasses by extending
Mm-hmm.
that, and vehicle will be having a basic method that need to be implemented by all the cars or
Mm-hmm.
anything, and there will be
Okay.
one engine class that we can segregate, like
Okay.
there should be segregation of everything, and
Okay.
car
Okay.
will be interdependent on like there will be has a relationship between car
Mm-hmm.
and engine.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so Deepak, I would like to share one important thing with you. Actually, we had launched complete interview preparation material, structured step by myself, experts and MNCs interviewers. And the best part is that now no one need to go anywhere else to prepare interviews. There's a 99% chance that the interviewers will ask questions from this material. So basically, it contains 16 PDFs with all the possible interview question and answers for Java, Spring Framework, Maven, Git, Spring Boot, Spring Security, Spring Data JPA, Kafka, Microservices, Java coding question, Stream API coding question, real-time questions, scenario-based question, tricky questions, and many more. I have provided the link to get this in below description. And if someone need this material plus enterprise projects for reference plus one-on-one lifetime doubt sessions and referrals to the big MNCs, then they should check the interview preparation kit as well. I will provide the link for this as well in the description below. So now moving to our interview. Okay,
Wow.
so have you used linked list collection in your project, real time, in any real time project?
uh, as of now, like I have not used, but it is like in lead code and others where I
Okay,
have been doing coding, there I
while
have
doing
used.
DSA.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
And I know
nice.
like it is internally also used for other things, like you can
Hmm.
say hash map uses like linked hash map internally uses linked list.
Okay, okay. So have you done DSA's problems as well?
Yeah, few of the,
Few
not
of
that
them,
much as of now.
not
It's
that
like
much.
most of the questions asked in the interviews are
Okay.
related to Spring Boot, Java, and
Hmm.
microservices.
Yes, yes, correct. So, how do you choose a collection type and what basis do you decide which one to use?
So it's like we can segregate the decision of selecting the collection on the basis of
Mm-hmm.
the our usage.
Okay.
Like if we want random access and
Mm-hmm.
like faster access should be there, then we can go with the array list itself.
Okay.
Where like we can there will be index based access also. Other than that,
Okay.
there will be faster access also, because there is, you can say. Uh, the internal structure uses array
Mm-hmm.
so like storage locality is like
Mm-hmm.
the elements is stored are very near to each other.
Okay.
And other than that, when we need some kind of insertion order to be preserved, or
Mm.
deletion and insertion is main task, then we can use linked list. Other than that,
Yes,
for
yes, yes.
set, we can use when we don't need any kind of duplicacy. We can use
Okay.
linked hash set when we want insertion order to be preserved as well as no
Mm-hmm.
duplicacy. And then comes tree set where we want no duplicacy as well as sorted elements.
Sorted element. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you are working on a high performance financial trading application that frequently
Okay.
updates prices and sorts them. Which Java collection would you use and why?
It uses like sorted also, and
Yes, frequently updates prices and sorts them.
okay,
Yeah.
we can use either of the tree set, or there is tree map itself, where if we want to store on the basis of our transaction ID or
Okay.
something like that, on the
Mm-hmm.
basis of key will be that ID, and prices we can put into the value section, and the tree
Okay.
set will automatically sort those out.
Okay. Okay. So I think you are already aware we have different exception handling mechanism, right? Can you provide use cases for different exception handling mechanism, different use cases for different mechanism?
In Spring Boot,
Yes, Spring Boot application. Spring
Uh,
Boot or Java, I
we,
mean related to anyone.
we can do like try cache itself in
Okay,
Java, where
okay,
or we can throw exception also to be handled by the parent caller method. Or we
okay,
can define our custom exception where we can like extend the exception class and get message will be overloaded. We can use super and send the message, and from that
okay,
it will automatically understand like which message to be returned. Other
okay.
than that, in case of Spring Boot, we can create our global exception handlers too,
Mm-hmm.
using at the rate exception handler or REST controller advice, where we
Mm-hmm.
can decide like which kind of exception it should handle.
Okay, okay. So, can you tell me what's the difference between fail fast and fail safe collections?
So it's like fail fast and fail safe. So some
Uh-huh.
of the iterators are like when they are trying to iterate a particular collection, and at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, if we try to modify, add, or remove a particular element in
Mm-hmm.
that collection, it will throw a exception like concurrent modification exception.
Okay,
That particular kind of collection is called as fail fast. But
okay.
if we want a mechanism where it shouldn't throw this kind of error, then we can use copy on write array list, where it is like each time if you try to like write or add
Mm-hmm.
something, it will create a copy, so it will not throw any kind of concurrent modification exception.
Mm, okay, correct. So, let's say you are developing an application that allows multiple users to modify a shared list of tasks concurrently. In this scenario, what causes concurrent modification exceptions and how would you design a system to prevent it?
So it's like if multiple threads are trying to access a particular queue, or you can
Yes,
say
yes.
like particular data structure. In that
Mm-hmm.
case, there will be like if someone is trying to read and iterate, then it
Mm-hmm.
will throw concurrent modification exception, and multiple
Mm-hmm.
threads are trying to write over there.
Okay, okay.
And other than that, there will be data inconsistency also. So like
Mm-hmm.
we will not be able to identify what will be the final result. For handling these, there will be like mechanism to like prevent the
Mm-hmm.
this, you can say, thread safety. Like we
Mm-hmm.
need to either lock the critical section, like access of that particular updation or
Mm-hmm.
something that we can lock.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, we can use like thread safe collections like concurrent and synchronized
Mm-hmm.
maps.
Mm-hmm.
And already like there is one package that is Java
Mm-hmm.
util concurrent package is there,
Mm-hmm.
and locking mechanisms are there. We can use those like
Okay.
synchronized and semaphore,
Mm-hmm.
phasor,
Mm-hmm.
countdown latch. And there is a concept of atomic integers and atomic values also, which do like CAS operation inside the CPU level operations.
Mm-hmm. Okay, nice, nice, very nice. So, moving ahead, let's say your application has memory leaks due to improper handling of cache objects. Okay, so how would the understanding of L1, L2 garbage collections help you optimize the memory management? So, do you know
Okay.
about L1, L2 garbage collection?
Garbage collection, I know, but L1,
Okay,
L2, that I like, there will be one will be young generation garbage collector, like, and then old, and they use like mark and sweep algorithm for
okay.
marking and sweeping the objects.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, for caching, we should have like TTL with all the objects, like time to live, for how long they
Uh-huh.
should live, and they should be automatically removed from the map. If you are implementing your own custom cache, in that case,
Mm-hmm.
we can use like a custom thread pool scheduler, and we can schedule a task to check for when to remove a particular key from that map. We can do
Okay.
that. And also we can use like which particular garbage collection algorithm you want to use, series,
Mm-hmm.
parallel, or
Mm-hmm.
concurrent mark and sweep. As well as
Okay.
now we have multiple garbage collectors, like ZGC
Mm-hmm.
is there, E1 is
Mm-hmm.
there, and parallel garbage collector was there. Now most of them are removed. Only I think G1 and ZGC are there, but in 17 there is only ZGC.
Okay. Okay. Moving ahead, do you know about kiss and dry coding practices?
Don't repeat yourself.
Yeah. And there
Like
is one principle, we call them KISS, KISS.
that I like the full name I forgot actually. Dry
Keep
I know
it
like
simple.
don't. Yeah, keep it simple is stupid. Now I
Yes, yes.
remember.
Do you know about
We have
this?
to write things. It shouldn't be that much complex, and it
Uh,
there should be something like by the class name itself, someone should be able to understand what is
mm-hmm.
going to be part
What is
of
going?
this class.
Okay. So have you ever gone through telling these best practices to your juniors?
Yeah, actually, we follow solid pattern itself, and other
Solid
than that,
patterns.
on the basis
Mm-hmm.
of usage, like which kind of things or task we are going to perform, we need to select the best strategy or best design
Mm-hmm.
pattern from. Like there are multiple creational pattern,
Mm-hmm.
behavioral pattern, and
Mm-hmm.
structural pattern. We need to
Mm-hmm.
follow that too, like on the basis of whatever task we are going to perform.
Okay. Okay. Nice. So you are leading any project or you are just working as a developer currently?
I have been leading in one of the project, but right
Okay.
now it's like from my company there are only two developers, and I am
Mm-hmm.
directly communicating with client. So client
Okay.
is having 13 overall members over
Mm-hmm.
there, and we two are from our company, which are who are directly working with the client.
Okay. Okay. Got it. So moving ahead, can you tell me what is diamond problem and how does Java solve it?
I didn't get it actually.
What is the diamond problem? Diamond problem.
Oh,
Uh,
diamond problem.
yeah, yeah. How
Actually,
does Java solve it?
it is like multiple inheritance. If you try
Okay.
to extend
Mm-hmm.
multiple classes, then
Mm-hmm.
the implementation class will not be aware of
Mm-hmm.
from which class it is going to access the super
Mm-hmm.
classes method. So it will
Okay.
not be able to understand. So for
Mm-hmm.
that, Java removed the class level in multiple inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
It uses inheritance on the basis of interface, you can say, where we can
Mm-hmm.
implement multiple interfaces.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving ahead, what are the use cases of default and static method in interfaces?
Yeah, these both were introduced in Java 8 itself.
Mm-hmm.
Actually the thing was, assume there is one interface that you have already written, and there are multiple classes that are extend like implementing that particular
Mm-hmm.
interface. And now
Okay.
suddenly you realize there should be one additional functionality that should be part
Mm-hmm.
of that particular uh, like interface, and we now don't want to force other classes to you can say implement that particular method. That is why when this default came, so it's like using default in an existing interface, you can define a
Mm-hmm.
method which can be
Okay.
used by a class, and the class is not forced to implement that
Mm-hmm.
particular method.
Okay. Okay. So,
And static method works as a, you can say, utility class for that particular interface.
okay. Okay.
Use
Okay.
utility method.
Hmm. Okay. Uh, Besides null handling, what other advantages does the optional class provide?
Beside null handling, so it's like you particularly you can throw multiple exceptions on the basis of the data.
Mm-hmm.
There are things like there is else method is there, is
Mm-hmm.
present to check if
Mm-hmm.
there is something or not. There is method or else throw, if nothing
Mm-hmm.
is there, that you can throw like directly custom exception or not found exception you can directly throw.
Mm-hmm.
So there are multiple
Yeah, yeah.
benefits on the.
Okay, okay. So, let's say you suspect there is a memory leak in one of your long-running Java application. How would you go about identifying the potential leak and what tools would you use to diagnose and fix the issue?
like uh, like there are IntelliJ, and these have their own profiler itself, where you can
Okay.
look for like what is
Uh-huh.
going on and where is
Okay.
the data
Mm-hmm.
leak can be happening over there. And other than
Okay.
that, if there is kind of latency issues, then we can use Grafana also, where it
Okay.
will tell like for the latency issues it can tell. Uh,
Okay.
there
Do you
is
know
something
about
like
some
visual
tools?
VM
Yeah,
also.
Visual VM, Java Mission Control.
Yeah,
This is one
G
of the tool.
console.
Hmm.
We can uh, like take a heap dump and analyze that heap
Hmm.
dump using like multiple analyzers are there, like Eclipse memory analyzer,
Hmm.
or you can say G profiler is there for verifying the leak.
Hmm. Okay. So, describe how would you design a Java application that needs to handle concurrent access to a shared resources by multiple threads, and what synchronization techniques or locks would you use to prevent data corruption?
In
Uh,
Java itself, we can
yeah, yeah,
either
yeah,
use
yeah.
synchronize, but synchronize will decrease the performance. So it's like
Okay.
nobody will be able to, no other thread will be able to access that
Hmm.
particular critical section. So we can
Okay.
use lock-based mechanism, or like there is lock-less mechanisms also, where
Uh,
we can use CAS and all.
okay.
So here, like we can use concurrent, like concurrent data structures that we can use that can
Mm-hmm.
help us like understanding. Other than that, there is concept of you can say completable future, which can be used for async processing.
Hmm. Okay. 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 Moving ahead, can we use both application YAML and application properties in a single Spring Boot application?
Yes.
Okay. How are they prioritized?
Oh, we can use both. I know priority wise, I think it should read from the properties first and then YAML. I'm just confused between that because we
Yeah, yeah.
currently are using
Properties
YAML.
has higher priority.
Yeah, because it comes with the Spring itself.
Correct. How do you configure and connect multiple databases in a Spring Boot application?
We can define data sources and then we can create a different configuration classes also. In
Okay.
one of my project, they were using like one Snowflake as well as Postgres.
Mm-hmm.
So what they were doing, like defining the properties and dialects,
Mm-hmm.
and on the basis of that, they were creating two connection configuration classes. In that, they were
Okay.
defining like this particular data source, and if you
Uh-huh.
want Snowflake, then you can pick this particular connection, and
Mm-hmm.
for Postgres you can do use this particular connection
Okay.
object.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What's the difference between returning a response entity versus directly returning an object in a REST API?
So if you are directly returning the object, it will only have the whatever is in whatever attributes are there in that
Okay.
particular object. But response entity is like you can wrap your like
Mm-hmm.
object or data into
Mm-hmm.
a response entity object, which
Mm-hmm.
will have data as the HTTP status codes also, whatever you
Mm-hmm.
want to send.
Okay. Okay. Let's say you are asked with designing a series of new RESTful endpoints for a complex product inventory system. Okay. What are the best practices would you follow to ensure scalability, maintainability, and performance of your application?
Inventory management.
Yeah.
So there will be some kind of producer consumer kind of thing where like the inventory will be consumed, like things from
Mm-hmm.
inventory will be consumed as well as stored and produced also.
Okay.
So for maintaining the concurrency scalability, like first thing, if we have created like multiple microservices, there will be
Mm-hmm.
like async communication between them using
Mm-hmm.
like you can say a Kafka event-driven architecture will be there, and if you are uh, like for like if you are writing the code and all, you can segregate the responsibilities like
Mm-hmm.
to multiple microservices. You have created one microservice and second micro one will be for like storing and the
Mm-hmm.
producing part, others can be like consuming part. and for communication purpose in between there will be event driven architecture, and
Okay.
for making our code
Mm-hmm.
uh, like uh, performant and
Mm-hmm.
you can say testable, or like so that it can work properly, you can use JUnit testing and integration testing and monitoring
Okay.
applications should be there. We should
Mm-hmm.
implement actuator also, where we can check things out. There
Mm-hmm.
should be one circuit breaker,
Mm-hmm.
and this, and for scalability, we can move it to cloud itself.
Yes,
We
yes,
can
yes,
use
yes.
AWS EC2, and
Uh-huh.
even if certain application requires
Mm-hmm.
for if zero users can be there, and as
Mm-hmm.
high as 2000 or 20,000 can be there, then we can use AWS Lambda also.
Mm.
The
Yes, yes, yes.
EC2 will automatically scale up or scale down.
Correct, correct, correct. Okay, so moving ahead, how do you implement a composite primary key in Spring Boot data JP annotation application?
Composite primary key.
Yeah.
Primary key, I know we can do something like @ID notation, which will tell us this particular ID can be used for accessing the data.
Okay. Have you used embeddable annotation?
Embeddable, yes, I have used.
Okay, can we use this to do something?
Embeddable, I know when object contains other object inside it, then we
Yeah, yeah,
can embed it into the parent object.
yeah, yeah. So
For
I think if we can add this embeddable annotation at class level, and then we can use
then embedded
embedded
ID.
ID to
Yeah,
different fields. So in this way we can use
understood.
composite key. Yeah. Okay.
Or we can define @ID class also.
Uh,
There is ID
correct.
class and this embedded ID. Both can be
Mm,
used for. Okay.
okay. Okay. So how do you implement tracing in microservice architecture?
Microsoft tracing.
How would you
Actually,
implement
ELK stack, and there is I forgot
Zipkin?
one- Zipkin is there, which uses three values are there that can be
Uh,
passed with along with all the
mm,
requests to identify which
mm,
particular request is this one.
okay. So how can you track the flow of requests across multiple microservices?
Flow of okay. There is some tool for distributed tracing, like you can say open tracing is there that can be
Mm-hmm.
used for tracing the
Mm,
request.
correct, correct.
And as you told, Zipkin is also over there to
Uh,
trace the request between multiple microservices.
correct. And
Okay.
yes, so you please share your screen and then I will ask a question to write. Okay.
Okay, sure. Just a minute. Where is my okay? Where is this share? Oh, share screen. Entire screen share. I have already opened my IntelliJ. You
Oh,
can
okay.
give me any
So
time.
the question is write a Java Stream API query to find the top three most occurring words in a list of strings.
Top three most occurring world.
Let's say in a list of strings there are a lot of words like 1 1 1 1 2 2 2 2 3 3 3 4 4 5 5 something like that, and you have to print the top most three occurring word.
In I know in case of this coding platform, I used to use a priority queues for this kind of solutions, where
Okay.
we can, on the basis of the length
Uh-huh.
of that
Mm-hmm.
particular string, we can move it to priority queue, and
Mm-hmm.
on the popping of that, at very last there will be only those objects remaining in the
Mm-hmm.
priority queue.
Okay. So how would you solve this from priority queue or like from different way?
Stream only we can use, we can store the countings of the words itself.
Mm-hmm.
Assume there is, you can say, list of strings I have created, as you said, ll.
Mm-hmm.
and there are multiple lists. You can say list of.
Mm, yes,
Okay,
yes, yes.
and then we can create like multiple 1122
Okay, so Deepak, just tell me how would you solve this? I mean, don't write the code. Just tell me how would you solve this by Stream API?
like what we can do, we can like on count the like length itself.
Uh-huh. You can
Once
unshare your screen. It's fine.
okay, so what we can do is very simple. We can calculate the counting itself, and on
Mm-hmm.
the like length counting, you can,
Mm-hmm.
as you told, like this has to be like the three longest word.
Three
That is
most
what
repeated words.
most repeated word.
Mm.
Okay, so there is one collectors dot grouping by. On the
Mm.
basis of that, I can count like collectors dot counting.
Mm-hmm.
It will automatically tell which particular word came how many time, and then we
Okay.
can at last we can sort on the basis of frequency, the
Mm-hmm.
counting, and then
Mm-hmm.
we can limit
Limit
three. So it
three.
will give me top three.
Top three. Yes, that's correct.